I regularly attended the yoga class, and I was very good at it. And I really liked it. I felt like it was kind of spiritual. It kind of like worked with what I believed about like energies at the time. And so the yoga instructor one day, she said, "Hey, you're really good at this. Have you ever thought about teaching it?" And no, I hadn't, but you think I could teach? That would be awesome because I really enjoy this. And so right after I left class that day, I went and searched, and I found there was a yoga college not too far from me. And so I decided to look it up. It didn't cost a lot of money to go, so I thought, oh, this seems like a good investment. And so I signed up, and it was not anything like what I thought it was going to be. So I was picturing, I'm going to go into a classroom. There's probably going to be a space for yoga, but there's probably also going to be a whiteboard, and you're going to teach me about anatomy and physiology. Stretches, exercise, stuff like that.
Hurts and your mind, or I don't know.
Yeah, but that was not at all what happened. The first thing we did, we go in, and there isn't anything like that. I just see there's an altar to Buddha, an altar to Shiva, and then we all got these blankets that we would lay down onto the floor, and we would sit on them, and cross-leg style. And the first thing that we were actually learning was what they would say, Om, and that is the universal energy. It was explained that that is how you would explain God, because God is the universe. And I'm hearing a lot of like really spiritual stuff when I'm there, but I'm thinking, well, I don't really know if I believe that, but I'll just brush that to the side and just focus on the exercise, right? But I was also kind of confident about it not being a big deal, because I hadn't really heard anyone talking about like how yoga can actually be a dangerous practice. And so I'll also I want to say maybe half the students I went to school with were Christians. So I thought it was all fine. And so yeah, I did learn a lot of these postures and things, but I learned that it wasn't a coincidence. The yoga postures we were doing in the classes, that these are set structures. You have to follow a certain path with them, because it's supposed to have this alchemical spiritual effect inside of you. And also there's a lot of them that they're actually used for worshiping different gods. A lot of people like don't know. You hear maybe if you go to a yoga class some Sanskrit names of things. Surya Namaskara. Well, we say in English that's sun salutations. But doesn't that sound like it just means you're welcoming the sun? But that's not actually what Surya Namaskara means. It literally means sun worship. And yeah, so I learned a whole lot while I was there, and it had a major effect on me, because I actually noticed the yoga was working. It was doing what they said it was supposed to do. And I was becoming more and more spiritual, and finding Hinduism, which they told us in the beginning that yoga is one of the orthodox schools of Hinduism. That, like, to me, like, the Hindu ideas seemed like Well, the way that they were explaining it almost seemed scientific, but it's really pseudoscience. But yeah, very interesting. Very interesting.
Wow. So for how long you were doing that, practicing it?
I was practicing yoga for, man, I don't even know how many years now. I remember I became a teacher of it. Let's see, I guess it was 2000, maybe 18, something like that. So I practiced yoga for longer than that, but I taught yoga for a couple of years at least. Yeah. So, and yeah, it's true. Like, you could not and you cannot separate the postures and exercises from the religion. It doesn't work that way. And something something that should really speak about how powerful it is I went to school with a lot of Christians there, and in the end they all started practicing Christianity that was not what you would call Christianity anymore. They believe, oh, Jesus, yeah, he was a son of God, but so is Krishna and Buddha. And yeah, no, like Christ energy, it's like Christ consciousness. We all have that within us. We are all that. And it became a very like Hindu version of Christianity. Some of them still identify as Christian, but they do that while also like actually communicating and worshiping other gods at the same time. So it should speak for when people are talking about, hey, well, it's just an exercise. It may feel that way at first, but the longer you practice it, the more it really starts to change the way you think. And that's the point of it.